Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we are finishing up this 9-game series between Bisu and Soma. Once again, as if written by some sort of fan fiction, this is tied up in the last map. So it's 4 wins for Soma, it's 4 wins for Bisu. Unbelievable, some of these games. We've had huge macro games, we've had rushes that have gone both ways. Pretty awesome series. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this a lot. I certainly have enjoyed casting it. One of the better PvZ series that I've seen. And now we're going to see who's superior in the 9 ladder games that they played against each other. We're on Neo Sylphid for the final map. Bisu here looking like he's going to go for a gateway expansion or possibly a Nexus first. We'll see. And Soma, we can't tell quite yet. While we wait to figure that out, guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. If you'd like to support on Patreon, I do have a Patreon set up. It's patreon.com/Artosis. The link is below in the description as well. And a big thanks to everyone who has done that. It is very much appreciated. Now, the gateway goes up, and Bisu going to start scouting right away towards 12 o'clock. We have a pool coming up first. This is an overpool by Soma. Overpool is, you know, just such a safe build overall. It's like it was invented a long time ago, basically, so that it could deal with early gateway pressure while still getting a good, strong economy up. So the drone comes out, and yeah, just gonna chase that probe away. Still the very early stages of this game. But it was some good extra damage onto that probe. Fancy micro on both sides. A little bit of hull damage on the probe, which is annoying. And he can't quite zone it far enough back. Look at that. Gets the pylon down as well. So annoying for Soma to have to deal with. And it looks like he wants to go to the mineral base with that drone for the third hatch. Well, not the third hatch. It is the first hatch, but still. Okay, so the drone does put some more damage on this probe. It's getting pretty low, and we do have 4 Zerglings coming out. That'll help to clear out this pylon if it's still there, which we see it's not. The hatchery has gone up at this third base location, and the first Zealot is walking across the map. So definitely some pressure going to start. The 4 Lings coming up here, chasing that probe a little bit. You don't want to chase it too hard, though, because the Zealot could be on the way. And in fact, I believe he's missed this completely. Obviously, his first Overlord went in the wrong direction up to the north. And his second Overlord did not see that Zealot. So we have these Lings going across for the scout. And when he gets there, well, maybe even right before he gets there, the Zealot is going to be popping into his main base. He just started 4 Lings in there. So just now realizing what was going on. That is a bit annoying for sure. Ooh, that was a sick turnaround. He went into the egg and then turned around, which screwed up the Zergling AI. They were chasing him, and they can't go through the egg because they can't mine. That was actually a sick move. That was a sick move. Oh my god. I love it. Anyways, this is going to continue to chase. This Zealot over here. Wow, it did get a kill. That's pretty insane. Some missed micro there, possibly for Soma. The Zealot is going to be cleaned up. The drone actually comes up as well, gets the final shot, and will pick up that kill. It's a awesome brag for the drone to get that citizen's arrest. Now, we have the Forge coming up. Zealot's still chasing these 2 Lings. The thing is, the Lings not realistically going to really get more damage. And in fact, you know, he's got to make sure he's microing elsewhere also. I'd be surprised if he gets much anything done with them at this point. Because there is a Zealot over here hitting that natural hatchery. That is going to be a little bit annoying. He is waiting for another couple Lings. Wants to attack with 5 as opposed to 3. We'll see if Zealot can... Or if Bisu can push this Zealot back properly, maybe into this little nook right there. Yeah, sends it right back as those Lings come up. The 2 Lings still alive, and they've taken some damage. No kills on them yet. You know, maybe a little bit of lost mining time for Bisu here and there if they do start getting some damage on. Drones being pulled out by both sides. And there's the Hydralisk Den as he surrounds this Zealot, and it's not going to be able to get out. We have the Hydra Den, so this could be a fast one. We have speed almost done here. So could this be the ranged attack again with the Speedling follow-up? We've seen that popping up a little bit more recently. Obviously, Soma already won a single game in this series with that build. Stargate coming up. Drone's getting to be mining here. A little bit of damage put onto that Overlord. That's a little bit annoying. It'll die to the Corsair really quickly at this point. And we do have some Zealots going across right now. So it looks like the Zealots might be going up here. Maybe he never saw that base. Yeah, that seems to be what it is. Because when you block the natural, they either take the hatchery here or they take it here. They almost never take it here because these patches are light and this gas is light. So, like, this is not a good fast base to take. So I think he's realized now what's going on. Now, the first Hydra is out, and it's actually Hydralisk speed on the way, by the way. He does pick that off. You can see as the Hydras pop out, obviously, those Zealot tactics don't work at all anymore. But it's Hydralisk speed, right? So it's not going to be one of those range with Massling follow-ups. It is going to be the speed upgrade, probably into the range upgrade, and just a massive bust. So quite likely that this game is going to be decided rather quickly. Lot of Lings out in the front there. He does actually have a pretty healthy drone count, honestly. 26 drones, looking good. Some Hydras on the way. Has forced a few cannons here and there. Citadel coming up for Bisu. And of course, don't forget, this did take like 4 cannon hits, this Overlord. So it was damaged quite a bit for this Corsair to pick it off a little bit more quickly, and that's going to be really annoying for Soma to have to deal with. We'll see if he actually gets a block from that. Looks like he's just barely going to miss the block, but going to have to make an Overlord that he did not previously want to make. Now, the Corsair sees Hydras coming up, so he has to start adding some additional cannons right away. You see the Zealots coming out to meet them immediately. Wants to push them back. Okay, he sees the speed upgrade, so he knows what type of rush this is. This should be a very Hydra-based rush, even though he does have some Lings out there. Double Corsair going for the harassment. And look at this. The Overlords are basically all alone. Okay, 3 Hydras come back to help out, and he will pop another one. So that is a supply block right there. Soma does have a fair amount of Hydras up here getting ready. Bisu pulling back with these 2 Corsairs. Gonna go ahead and hold position on this gateway. Gonna start working that down. The range upgrade is almost done, and he'll be able to kill the Forge at that point. A lot of Hydras have come up. But now Soma's droning. I think the actual supply blocks forced him into this. I think, and the thing is, you can definitely do builds like this where you make a medium amount of Hydras and put pressure on, you force cannons and hope to get ahead. But I feel like the Corsairs themselves kind of force this, right? With those supply blocks, it's very, very unfortunate. He has to keep Hydras at home to deal with that as well. In the meantime, Bisu is going to get his +1 finished. Yep, just barely gets a finish. Actually starts +1 armor, which I think that's not as likely to finish, obviously. I think he's going to have to cancel that one out. Yeah, cancels it, realizes, okay, yeah, that's not going to happen. You know, if his leg upgrade had finished, he could have probably run out there and forced it back and saved the +1 armor. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be there. Layer is on the way here for Soma as he backs up. By the way, still his drone count, not too bad, 36. A lot of speed Zealots coming out for Bisu. Okay, so that's 12. That's an entire group of Zealots plus the 2 Corsairs. The Hydra's running backwards right now, and I think he's just going to hit here, and these Overlords are going to be in some serious, serious trouble. Now, they run back. You can see he made an extra evolution chamber for the SimCity purposes. He's making a sunken here as well, and it looks like he's got just the right choke. If this building wasn't there, I think Soma would have literally just lost the game. Now, Bisu runs over to this 3rd base location, gets right into that mineral line. The +1 attack on these Zealots helping him to clear out those Lings immediately. A sunken does finish. That's going to buy some time. The group of Hydras coming over from the natural to help defend that 3rd base will suck some Zealots up towards them, while the sunken colony and Hydras and drones all are going to defend against the rest of these Zealots. And this looks to me to be an amazing defense with very little from Soma. He chopped through a ton of Zealots there. Like, without a doubt, the actual standing army of Bisu was much stronger and looked to me like it had a lot of potential for damage. And Soma just stopped it dead in its tracks. Now, taking a look where we're at right now, 4 gates here, adding 3 more, so going up to 7, and a Robo. I was going to say, but no range? Okay, he is getting range as well. Like, if you're getting a Robo, you definitely want to have Dragoon range on the way. It doesn't really make sense to get Observers to go with Zealot High Templar, right? Like, you want the Dragoons in there as well. Otherwise, it might have been something like a quick shuttle, you know, storm drop, DT drop, something like that. Now, the Corsairs come in. They get one more kill, and they don't quite get another. So, remember, they killed those 2 Overlords at the beginning. The one in the front that got hit by cannons, then the second one in the natural that kind of stopped the rush. They're still looking for kills, just not really getting them. They're putting some pressure on, but the Hydras are getting back in time. So that is a bit of an issue there for Bisu. He's got one very hurt Corsair left. We have the Lurker upgrade on the way. No Spire, by the way, right? So just keep that in mind. We are not going to have a switch into Mutalisks here. And of course, that's something the Corsair has been looking for as well. Overlord speed is coming. There's a lot of Hydras on the map. Bisu running around with another full group of Speed Zealots here. Now, with 3 High Templars sitting back, he should be completely fine, right? Soma comes up, sees what's there. There's even a DT, just turns around. Makes sense. Now, here come those Speed Zealots. These Hydras a bit out of position. The DT trying to force them back even more. And as these Zealots run up, like, look, this is very lightly defended. But the Zealots turn around. They know these Hydras are coming. So they actually take quite a few pot shots there and will take a bit of hull damage. So pulling them back, and the DT as well. Looks like Bisu just does not want to engage right now. And, you know, this is something I was talking about in one of the previous games, where these are the types of moments where I think Bisu really shows himself to be a different type of player. Oh, God, he loses a shuttle that was out here. I don't even know what that was doing. It had nothing in it, luckily, but that's really painful to lose a shuttle right now. Soma getting the drop upgrade. This is a great position for drops. If you look at it, right? Soma has this 4-base quadrant, and if he just lightly defends this area, it blocks all of his bases, right? 1, 2, 3. So defending this area, and then he can quickly drop in a matter of seconds. Now, we do have an attack actually coming up while I discuss that. Some good storms go down, but it looks like Soma's going to kill this entire army off. Bisu coming out with more Dragoons, but he loses his High Templars. We saw some good storms in there. There's definitely some damaged Hydralisks, but that was a good engage for our Zerg player. We still have a big group of Zealots out here. Maybe they can still find something to do, but with Lurkers being made, there's a couple possibilities. One, obviously, if you get a contain here, that's going to be best. But again, you could do a Lurker defense here into a massive drop in the main. And as Protoss is coming down, you just drop enough units that you really mess them up. We'll see about that. But right now, Bisu starts to take this engagement extremely well. His Dragoon Zealot army killing a ton of Hydras, trapping a bunch of them, and pulls back the second these Lurkers burrow. All right, Bisu running back up through the map. Definitely, I like this game for Soma right now, but he doesn't have a ton of supply. Okay? He's loading up into his Overlords. This is very likely going to be the deciding moment of this game. We see nothing here defensively. There are some units about to pop out. He has no idea the drop is coming. That is 5 Overlords almost completely full of units. So that is a very powerful drop indeed. Coming in here, and Bisu is going to realize what's going on. This is going to be a problem. He sends his probes away. He needs to send those probes away. Some of them do end up remaining. Unfortunately, looks like this High Templar going to get caught as well. Bisu with the counterattack. Has units going in multiple locations. Oh my God, this DT. This DT is going to do a ton of damage. We'll keep that selected for a moment as it starts picking up its drone kills. The rest of Bisu's army coming over here and clearing out these Lurkers. It looks like everything is still in the main base. That Nexus might be going down. Bisu counterattacking here. He was attacking this area, but it is very choked up. Instead, moves over to this heavily macro area. By the way, that DT got 8 drones. I don't know where it is right now. There it is. 8 drone kills. Insane, insane damage. He is starting to pick off some of these hatches. A lot of drones going down here as well. Looks like we had a drop over here, and yeah, didn't get a lot of probes. Looks like those were, in fact, pulled. And Bisu dealing tons of damage with his counterattack and somehow saved that Nexus as well. So what can Soma save? These hatches are getting very low. I think this one's going to die. He already killed this macro hatch. He's going to kill the main mining hatchery as well. And in fact, he's going to target this down. So that's going to be almost half of the hatchery production, right? 3 out of 7 hatcheries killed, 1 out of 4 bases killed. Much more damage by Bisu on this counterattack than what we saw drop-wise from Soma. Even though the drop was good, it was not as good as what Bisu did in response. Between the DT and the army hitting this 3rd base location, insane, insane damage coming out here for Bisu. Now Bisu going to go ahead, clear lurkers here. And like this to me right now, look, it looks like he's cleaned up the lurker. Maybe the lurker's in an overlord. No, Soma didn't save it. But Bisu's going to be on 3 bases mining. It is only 2 gas, so that's something. But against 3 bases from Soma. Now, Soma has a good enough drone count that you're not too worried about that, but he hasn't been mining from here for a while. So that is a bit of an issue as well. His standing army, not that strong. You know, we're kind of low on supply. If you have 46 drones, you don't have that many Hydras. A lot of his defense in lurkers right now as well, or at least morphing lurkers, trying to get something done there. Some good size storms. Slow that down quite a bit, though. Another great storm there. Clears that lurker off, and in fact, that egg is 1 shot from death. But the Hydra's coming up. Looks like they will end up saving this. Even that Archon might be getting caught. Yeah, that one's not going to get home, unfortunately. Okay. Kind of a crazy game so far. Honestly, I'm kind of expecting Bisu to clean up Soma at this point. I think his army should be a little bit heavier. It's like, basically the way that you play on 2 gas is like Zealots plus High Templar until you get your 4 High Templar, and then it's like Dragoon Zealot. Because that's what your gas can afford. You're trying to get as many high-tech gas units as you can. And as you can see, he's making Zealot High Templar right now, and then probably we'll get back into Dragoons, because Dragoons really are going to be superior here to Zealots. You know, he's going to be able to just get all those pot shots all the time. You can see he's coming down, even with a tiny group of Dragoons here. You know, he has his Zealot for the tanking purposes. You don't want to be losing these, though. Ooh, a little bit sloppy on that runaway. It's going to end up losing at least a couple Dragoons, I think. Yeah, he's going to be able to pick that one off as well. So good pick off there by Soma. Photon Cannon going to push back some of these overlords. Looks like we did have another lurker drop that snuck up here. It will be dealt with, but 5 probes lost their lives. Oh boy. Well, I'll try to see how many kills are on that DT when it comes out. But looks like a DT drop did hit that main base. The drone count did drop by about 12. So this might have been an insane drop. Sorry I missed it, but you know what? Soma missed it too. So, he's a lot better than me at this matchup. Okay, so pulling back right now, he's got a good amount of High Templars. You can see almost like a siege tank push here with these lurkers. Doing a great job burrowing them on the move. A good amount of Hydras in here. Morphing some more lurkers. Looks like he wants to get an attack down. 4th base is something Bisu's definitely thinking about up there. Another storm goes down. You know, a couple cannons would definitely slow this, and I think Bisu would smash in the army if you're trying to get up that ramp. That's going to be a very, very messy fight for Soma. So it looks like he's trying to set up a little bit of a lurker contain there. The shuttle came back in, but sees Hydra's still waiting, so turns around. Lurkers spreading up. You see Bisu kind of zoning his defense. This is a well-defended. He's kind of zoning these 2 bases right now. Throws a Psystorm down, using his Dragoons to get hits. If a full attack comes up, right? Like if a ton of Hydras come, not only will he storm, but these Zealots will join in. But notice how he keeps the Zealots back while the lurkers are being dealt with. Does not want them taking extra damage. All right, great storm there. Kills off yet another lurker. Ooh, storms his observers. Even happens to Bisu. I'm sure a cathartic moment for all of our Protoss players. So loses his observers, has to wait for more. Can't really break through for a moment. Very healthy amount of High Templars. Look at that, 6 High Templars in there, although they are getting a little bit low on energy. Gonna take a little bit. It's like a cannon to get picked off there at that potential 4th base location. We'll see if he actually ends up getting it. Little Hydra flank maybe coming up from the other side. Turns around, comes in to pick off some of these Dragoons. As the group of Hydras comes in to poke, though, Psystorms are laid down. And now the Zealot's starting to come forward. Oh my god. Picks off the observer. See, this is why you can't be storming your own observers for other than the obvious reasons. Now that the observer count is so low, Soma's just focusing on them. He knows the cadence with which they will arrive, and he's trying to target them down. You can see he runs on top of everything there. And now Bisu getting into Soma's face. Soma with no lurkers left over. He's trying to morph some. His Hydra's being picked off. And another DT drop in here, dealing even more damage. It looks like Bisu pushing Soma back to the brink. Soma having a hard time here. Even though he's still, you know, he's still got an okay economy. His army size is just about nothing. And it looks to me like that's going to be it. GG. Bisu takes down Soma. They played 9 ladder games against each other very recently. And Bisu ends up 5-4 at the end. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed these ladder games. And GG. Thank you for watching.